My brain's on holiday already. All right, so today's all things accounting. This is, again, I know we have a lot of students in here who are thinking about pursuing accounting, so this is a great field. Should be a good presentation for you guys. Even if you're not pursuing accounting, please remember that everyone in here that's a business major, so all of you, you're all going to have to take a minimum of 2 accounting classes. So that's a good bit. So you're all going to have a basic foundational knowledge in accounting, and then we'll talk about those few of you who want to specialize and pursue it. The question is, well, what is accounting? So let's look at this basic definition. Accountants engage in a wide variety of activities beyond recording business transactions. That's typically what most of us think, and preparing financial statements. That's not all they do. Accountants are often called upon to audit, prepare tax returns, advise. Advisement's a huge component that most people don't realize accountants do, a huge service. So advise companies on how to increase profitability. They determine how to set up and monitor internal controls, so internal within an organization, in order to increase efficiency and lower the likelihood of white-collar crime. All right. Accounting graduates may choose to complete many different professional designations to enhance their career. What's the most common certification that you typically associate with an accounting major? A CPA, Certified Public Accountant. It's probably the most popular, but it's not the only one that exists. And why would somebody want to even get a CPA license? What's the advantage here? Again, it's kind of like specializing. Trinity, why would somebody want to get that CPA license to do that type of accounting work?
Because it gives that little piece of paper value.
Yes, you're going to be certified in public accounting, or you could be certified in managerial accounting, or you could be a CIA. Some of us always have that dream. Well, you could be a certified internal auditor. These things are designations. It's like those minors that we could add onto your degree, or those concentrations that we could add onto your degree. They're going to give you a competitive advantage. You've got specialized knowledge in this niche area, and you've done a lot of work to earn it. And what does that translate into? Money, job security, job opportunities, and again, financial stability. So these are no easy achievement. Everyone will know getting a certification in any of these 3 areas of accounting, it's hard work. But if you're willing and able, it'll pay off, literally. So we'll look at those in just a minute. We'll kind of dive into the CPA a little bit further. But a lot of accounting majors think they automatically have to get the CPA. That is not the case. That's a personal choice. It depends on what type of accounting work that you would like to pursue, what the end goal is, and seeing if one of these might be a good fit for you. You can pursue them. You do not have to. There are many accounting professionals that exist that don't have a CPA or CMA or a CIA. So you don't have to feel obligated or be afraid of that. If that's something that you're kind of internally struggling with, it's not a requirement. However, if you do wish to, again, specialize and kind of open yourself up to those broader earning opportunities, it's a great thing to have. And the CPA is definitely the most common. All right, so how do I know if it's right for me? Again, you might be like me, and I really struggled. Is accounting, I knew I wanted to do numbers. I knew I liked numbers. Is accounting right, or is finance right? Well, let's talk about some accounting characteristics, and maybe these can help you do an internal audit with yourself. How do I know if accounting is right for me? People who work in accounting related careers enjoy solving problems. Do you like solving problems? Like Lane Foster, who was here, that was kind of basically her job. She's a problem solver. Do you like helping others? Accounting is a lot about helping others. Some of you have that intrinsic need to help others. It brings you joy. Accounting can satisfy that need. All right. You can work independently or part as a team. Sometimes we wrongfully assume that all accountants want to be, alone, introverted, behind their desk by themselves, maybe at home. Trinity, that could be you. And that is totally fine. But that's not the only thing, because I had this misconception. Again, part of this class is me helping you not make my mistakes, because I had this misconception. If I went into accounting, I was going to be alone, stressed out behind a desk, and that was just my, working on a old type of calculator, just punching numbers. That's kind of what I anticipated. And I was like, that's not me. I knew I love numbers, but I'm not that type of person. That wasn't my personality. Y'all, that's not what accounting is. I'm going to blow your mind to all the career opportunities that exist. And again, look at some of our previous guest speakers. We definitely have those types and those options. I've got one coming for you on Wednesday, Trinity. You're going to like her. She's works remotely from home. But that's not all accountants do, okay? You can be independent or you can be a part of a team and it'd be more collaborative. There's so many options. So it's not always that loner stressed out at work. That's not the case. But again, there are many, many options in accounting. Do you like to examine, analyze, interpret financial data? This may seem weird to you, but it was something that I really enjoyed in class. Soon you'll start taking your Finance 301, Accounting 200, Accounting 210, these courses, and you're going to start learning how to interpret these numbers that you see on your balance sheet, your income statement, your statement of cash flows. Is this something that you enjoy? If so, maybe think about accounting. All right. Are you where are my accounting students? I love you guys. You guys make my life so easy. Listen, I'm not an accounting student, so I can say this, but guys, you make teaching so easy. I love you guys. You guys are organized. You have your calendars. You meet all the due dates. And yes, I'm stereotyping, but it's pretty true. You guys are organized. You pay attention to detail. You make teaching you a dream. All right. If you know that's you, you have a good fit, a good chance at enjoying or being good at accounting. You're not doing puzzles, Sudoku. Love it, man. I'm addicted. It's a problem. All right. Do you like problem solving? I even like this game. Do y'all any of y'all play games on your phone just to relax? Like sometimes mindless games. I have one where I'm trying to it's called Unblock Me, and I'm trying to get this block out of a, yeah? Yeah, okay. I'll do that for, it's bad, hours, and I'll lose track. I should be asleep. I'm like, I'm just going to take 5 minutes to relax. At night, my little boy's asleep, dog's asleep. 1 a.m., I'm like, oh gosh, I've got to put it down. If you do enjoy solving problems, accounting is a lot like that. And they even have subsets, if you really enjoy it, called forensic accounting, which we'll kind of touch on. Maybe accounting might be a good fit for you. All right. Are you self-motivated? Are you trustworthy? Accountants have high ethical standards. All right. It makes sense. These might be characteristics. If you display some of them or all of them, I'm encouraging you to just think about accounting as a potential career field. All right. I couldn't let the day go by without showing my favorite accountant, Kevin Malone. You're my office people. Are they even here? He's the best. He's actually the worst accountant. Anyway, I just had to highlight him because he's my favorite. All right. Let's talk about the CPA. I always have a lot of students come to me, usually after class, because nobody wants to say anything in this large room, but they always come to me with questions about the CPA exam. First off, I am no accountant, and I stress this, talk to your accounting professors. They're the experts. But I did want to provide just some feedback for you. Again, this is a common question I get at the end of this course. I'm going to kind of exit out there. So I pulled some data before class because the standards or the requirements to get a CPA, the Certified Public Accountant certificate, is always changing, and it varies state by state. So what I'm about to tell you is for the state of Alabama. All right, let me go here. I'm going to enlarge it. And they've made some changes in just 2024. They made some big changes, which I'll highlight. To be able to sit for the exam. The exam is going to be in 4 parts, which we'll cover in just a minute, but it's in 4 parts. You have to be at least 19 years old, a U.S. citizen. This is something that just recently changed. It used to say 150 semester hours to sit for the exam. So when we're going over all these different majors, I talk about the gen ed requirements. I talk to you about the business core courses that you all have to take. And then we talk about the major courses. Well, if you take all of those sections, you're going to need it's exactly 120 hours to graduate. All right. How many do you have to sit for the exam now? 120. So in theory, this has changed. It used to be 150. Now you could, in theory, sit for the CPA exam after you've gained your 120 hours. It doesn't mean you will be certified, as we're going to look at in just a minute, but you can start sitting and taking parts of the exam. Again, it used to be 150. So here's what happened. And actually, if you move down one more section, in order to get the full license, you still have to have 150 hours. All right, to actually get the license, even if you pass all the tests, you still have to have that 150. So what happens for my accountants? What's your future look like? Traditionally, here's what happens. My accounting majors that know they want to pursue a career in public accounting, that are wanting to get that CPA license, they're going into a master's program. All right, that's the common theme. The MBA program is 30 hours. Let's do some simple math. I don't usually do public math, but I can do this one. 120 plus 30 is 150. So they'll go ahead and do their MBA, their master's in business administration. That's going to get them the additional 30 hours to get the 150. And then we also have a concentration within the MBA for accounting. So it's an MBA with an accounting concentration. Why do we do this? So you can sit and pass the CPA exam. We're making you take the courses that are going to be needed to have the foundational education so that you can sit for and pass the CPA exam. It's all planned out that way. So that's kind of when you see 120, yeah, you can start sitting for it and taking one of the four sections of the total certificate, the 4 exams. But even if you passed them all, you still can't get it until you meet the 150. Clear as mud? All right. So each section of the exam, you have to score at least a 75, and you have to have all 4 sections completed within 18 months. Also, with the CPA, to get the CPA certificate, you have to have experience. It's not all about just education. So you need to have worked at least 1 year in public accounting full time. So there's an experience requirement as well. Again, ethics, trustworthiness comes into play here. You'll have to do continuing education to maintain that license. And let's look at the exam. So the exam comes in 4 parts. The first 3 are going to be required. You have to take an auditing exam, auditing and attestation. You have to take the financial accounting and reporting. You have to take regulation. This will change now in 2024. Again, it's always changing. So what I'm telling you now could change by the time you take it. You get to pick which area of specialty you want to use for that 4th exam requirement. So you have a little bit of flexibility so that you can, again, customize your knowledge and your certificate to your dream. What's your career? Where do you want to go? Let's make sure we work smart and apply that knowledge and education there so that you can meet that end goal. So that's just a little bit about the CPA exam. Again, I'm not an accountant, but I do want to make sure that you have some exposure and just kind of a broader idea of what to anticipate if that's something that you're looking to complete or achieve. All right, so this pretty much just tells you everything I did. Here's some contact information for the actual testing site. All right, so now let's go to the section on our faculty. We have a lot of accounting faculty. Again, you all have to take 2 accounting courses, Accounting 200 and Accounting 210, Financial and Managerial Accounting. So you're going to get a equitable exposure to all those. Let's go to the JSU website, as I like to do. Here we go. We're just going to type in jsu.edu, go to the search bar, go to College of Business, And this department is in finance, economics, and accounting right there. We're going to go to faculty and staff. And I'll start right here, actually. So the department head has a unique role. Typically, it's more of a managerial role over all of our faculty, but they also teach. And I will note, we have Miss Julie Staples. Anybody taking Miss Staples right now? She's a common instructor for one of the Accounting 200 or Accounting 210 needs. She's amazing. I think if this is my unofficial advice. If you think you might be someone who would struggle with accounting, again, a lot of numbers and calculations and analyzing numbers, Miss Staples, I think, is a great option for you. If you see her name as one of your instructor options for the semester that you're taking, I would say investigate, see if it works for you. I've heard really good feedback from students regarding her class. And these were students who weren't really, maybe that wasn't necessarily their strength. She had really good feedback. So I would recommend her if you know you, or if you think you might be inclined to struggle a little bit in that type of course. Miss Staples is wonderful. She does a really good job at breaking it down into easier or more understandable sections and helping students in that way. All right, so then we're going to scroll. We've already gone through finance. We've already gone through economics. Let's get to our accounting faculty. So first up, we're going to have Dr. Talia Collum. She is a legend. How would I know? Because I had her very first semester she ever taught. I know. I like to brag on that. So she looks like she's so young. She looks like Reese Witherspoon to me. I always think of that. But Dr. Collum. So anybody in here have Dr. Collum by chance? Mason. Okay, really? Okay, how's it going, Ollie? Yeah. Mason? So it's test heavy in that class. Yeah. Here's what I say to Mason. I'll appreciate it. Ollie, it is Ollie, right? Ollie, are you thinking about accounting too? Or no, just finance. Okay. Here's some advice. And Mason, I think you're doing good. Personally, Dr. Combs going to be one of your primary instructors within the major itself. So if you're thinking about accounting, I would recommend taking her, especially in the principal courses. Like you're doing Mason, you're going to get to know her. You're going to get to know her teaching methods, her testing styles. She's going to get to know relationally you as well as you progress, and that's always a wonderful thing. So if you're thinking about accounting, Dr. Collum is someone I would really recommend for those intro classes if she's available. She teaches a lot. It's definitely, again, it's a class that you need to work at. It's not something you can just kind of fly by the seat of your pants with. It's going to require effort, but she's a phenomenal instructor. And okay, and also focus on those tests. All right. And I'll tell you something else. She teaches a lot of the higher level courses as well. And her students, like she's always got a line of students. She's there helping them. And these are upper level students usually. There's always students in her office, meaning she's here, she's helpful, she wants to make sure you fully understand things. Like I value that in an instructor or a professor. And she's one of those that really takes that to heart. So she's here to help you. All right. And then you'll see Dr. Cynthia Sneed and Dr. John Sneed. I know what you're thinking. Yes, they are married. All right. They are married. Both of these are professors of accounting. You probably won't come into contact with them unless you're an accounting major. They teach some of the higher level courses. All right. And then we have, I'm going to move down here a little bit, Mr. John Suddeth. Anybody have? Oh, yeah. Look at Ahmed. Enjoying it? Yeah, he's, oh my gosh. He's something else, isn't he? We call him the mayor of Merrill, by the way, because he just owns the place and he's so funny. Students love him. We actually stole him because he's so wonderful. We stole him back from Gadsden State and brought him here. And he can never leave us because he's fantastic. He's actually, I think he's got his CMA, instead of the CPA, he went with the managerial accounting and is even working to finish his CPA. He is a glutton for punishment. He is a hard worker in accounting, and he loves his job. He loves teaching. He loves students, and he will do anything he can to help you. I would also highly recommend, again, if accounting isn't going to be your strength or your planned major, I think he's great at helping breaking down some of these concepts on a more understandable level. And again, he's, like Dr. Call, he's with students. I can't go past his office without 4 students being in there. He's not because he's tough. It's not because he's tough. He is, but he cares. He's always making sure his students fully understand the topic. So highly recommend Mr. Sutton. He's a treasure for our accounting program. We also have Dr. Zanzig, not somebody you're going to encounter unless you're an accounting major. He teaches the upper level courses. His background really comes into play on the IT side of accounting. There's a lot of data analytics involved in accounting and programs. So his specialty really comes into play there. He's a toughie, but a goodie. And I know that from experience. It's a hard class, but if you work hard, study hard, you can do just fine. And again, incredibly nice person, which is, a bonus to have when you're in a course that's not necessarily easy. He's there to help you. So we've got really great accounting instructors. There's one more I should mention, and that's Miss Cassie Ward, who helps teach my CBA 115 accounting. I'm sorry, CBA 115 freshman orientation to business course. She will also, like me, try to help out where she can and teach some accounting courses. That's another great one, especially for the people that might be, bless you, that might be non-accounting type people. She's another great one that's really good at breaking it down into understandable levels. I haven't mentioned this because the poor things have no home, so let's talk about them now. We also have our statistics professors. We don't have a statistics major or data analytics major yet. We do have that minor I talked to you guys about, but we have 3 wonderful professors here. Mr. Brent Hurd, Dr. Keith Lowe, and Dr. Fallon Turley. They interchangeably teach, you're going to have 3 classes where you might see them. ST 260, which is basically business and quantitative methods. And then you have ST 261, it's the second version of that. And then you're also going to have the ST 345, the data analytics for business course. All right, so they intertwine those, teach them at random spots. So I just want to make sure you're aware of them as well. Any questions on the faculty so far for accounting and or stats, analytics? All right, we'll get back over here. So here's a listing. I just prefer the web version. We'll get started eventually. There it goes. All right, so there's that listing. All right, the next thing that I'm gonna rush through this slide and this slide. Don't pay too much attention. It's, again, just showing you how you can interweave the courses for the business core with your major courses. All right, so accounting people, now is the time to look up, because I know you all are. All right. You guys have a very, what we call prescriptive major, meaning we're telling you what you have to take. You're not going to see many electives on here. Why is that? Well, it's because we're trying to get you ready to be qualified to sit for that CPA exam. You guys need a very specific set of knowledge in most careers. And then again, especially if you want to sit for that exam. So we have to really have it prescribed. We have to tell you exactly what courses you need in order to kind of have that basic education to qualify for those accounting jobs. So you'll notice you only have two electives. Accounting majors, I'm also going to tell you, most frequently, one of those electives is going to be an internship. It's a big program for our accounting majors, is an internship, which is fabulous. It's very highly stressed in that field, so you might have one more true elective. It's just the nature of the beast, all right? It's going to be 2, 4. Yeah. So it's very prescribed in that way, but it's going to get you ready for that career and for that exam. All right, so pretty much we've got a lot of courses. I'm not going to go over each one. We'll see that in a couple more slides. Accounting 301 to accounting 477. And again, one of those electives is most likely going to be an internship. But for my accounting students, you have a really amazing club. It's that Beta Alpha Psi. It's the premier, I would say, here in the College of Business. They do a lot of work, a lot of meetings, and they get you set up with some top tier internships. Why are those important? Again, a lot of those transfer into jobs after college, after graduation. So, you've got a lot going on. It's going to be intense, but it's going to be worth it. All right, everybody wake up. This is something else I want to talk to you about. Remember how I talked about economics being a really great minor? Because a minor is 18 hours. So is, this accounting minor. All minors are 18 hours. Economics, I said, was great because really you only had to take 3 additional classes, so 9 hours. Accounting, for those that are maybe trying to figure out, do I want to do finance or accounting? If you decide I'll leave finance, but you still wondered about accounting, it's still an option for a good minor because even though it's 18 hours, the first 2 you've already taken. So it's just going to be 12 hours more. So it's not 18. It's really just going to be 12 because everybody in here is taking accounting 200 and 210. So with 4 of the classes, you can have that minor. It's not as intense. So that's always an option I want you guys to be aware of. If it's something that, you've been contemplating and can't really decide, this is, and somebody in here, we were talking about this. I don't remember who it was. But this is a good option. Again, you can do this accounting minor for 12 hours instead of the 18 because you guys have already taken the 200 and the 210. All right. So the next thing that we're going to look at are the courses. So 200, 210, everybody's taking these. Financial accounting, managerial accounting. You're going to have a broad accounting background no matter what your major is. All right, so everybody has to take those. You need to take Math 112 before you can enroll in these. That's important. So again, I'm going to go back and harp on the importance of completing that Math 112. All right. The next big class for my accounting majors, once you finish the 2 basics, the 2 intro classes, this is the next one. All right. Accounting 301. I think Dr. Collum usually teaches this one. This one's a toughie. This is one that, once you make it through here, you're really solidified as an accounting major. Sometimes students decide maybe not accounting with this one, but you guys can do it. Just work hard. I think there's a big group project in this one. It's no, it's not this one. I think it's 310. It's going to be 310 that I'm talking about. That's Dr. Collins. That has a big group project. I see students. You'll see students soon, probably September, October, and on, working in these team rooms, kind of stressed. That's her class, working on a project. But that's kind of like the next big accounting class. You still have the 301. This is going to be accounting information systems. That's going to be Dr. Zanzig that you have to take as an accounting major. Dr. Collum is going to be accounting 310, financial accounting 2. I believe that's Dr. John Sneed that will be teaching that. Cost accounting and income tax accounting, all required. You'll see a lot of yellow as we go through here. Auditing, everyone must take that as well. And you'll notice that there are some classes that aren't highlighted. These are the ones, again, that you can use for that elective. Again, additional ones. The internship 489, again, is highly used in accounting. It's just kind of the nature of that major and of those career ambitions. So internship, highly recommend for that one elective. Everybody's going to take a spreadsheet modeling course. I think it may now, I could be wrong, but I think it now has the prefix of ACC instead of the computer science. I think we moved that in-house to our accounting program. But there are a lot of courses. It's very prescriptive, again, but we're doing that on purpose to get you ready for the career field and or for the MBA program. One thing I do want to note, accounting majors, you have every business major in here has a lot of scholarship opportunities. But accounting majors, we've got some lovely benefactors that really like to pay it forward and help you guys out. Being part of Beta Alpha Psi is a big part of that, getting access and knowing to these scholarships. I think the way JSU now works, which is so much better than what I had back in the day, is you can do one application and you, for all of the internship, for all the scholarships that you qualify for, you do one application and you qualify for them. So accounting majors, you've got a lot of extra ones. Some are run through JSU, some are run through outside entities. But I like to put this on here just so you can kind of just have that knowledge as you keep going within that degree program. All right, so let's also talk about careers in accounting, okay? I'm going to kind of break it down into maybe 4 or 5 different groups. All right, so Nick, the first thing I'm going to talk about is, guess what? Public accounting, your favorite. Yeah, I know. So let's talk about public accounting. These roles are client service oriented and usually involve working for a CPA firm, a big 4, a regional firm, or a local firm. Anybody in here been to a CPA before? Anybody in here have an accountant do your taxes, your family's taxes? Yeah? No? Your mom's handling it? Your dad? Well, that's good. But soon you're going to be handling it. Now you can do it yourself. My family, we grew up just using a CPA. And you'll see at certain times of the year, whether this person's doing them for individuals or whether they're performing these services for businesses. There are certain times of the year that are going to be more hectic, more stressful, working way more hours than normal. That's typical CPA life. All right. But within that, you still have many areas you can pursue or specialize in. Audit assurance. When you do audit, they're examining financial statements for accuracy and compliance. All right. This is kind of a really hot area. You might have heard it, you might not. Anybody here ever want to go into like the FBI? No, I did. Just us two. Okay, just us. I said, I always had this dream, and I don't know why. I just watched too many shows where I could go into the FBI, and obviously I'm not field agent worthy. I mean, that's obvious, but I thought I could use my brain for something. All right. The number one area that the FBI hires in is called white collar crime. What does that mean? What's white collar crime? Anybody? Yeah, financial crimes. So basically fraud, theft, bribery, you name it. So they're always looking to hire people in the FBI with this subset specialty. And there's an area, you might have heard of it, it's called forensic accounting, where you're going in and trying to find, where did that money go? What offshore account did it go to? Where are they hiding this and that? Forensic accounting is a really cool, interesting area. You could take it as an elective. We do have a course on that. It's pretty fun. They'll bring in people from Help South and the Richard Scrushy case. They bring in people from the FBI, actually a lot, to that class as guest speakers. It's just kind of cool. I think if I was doing accounting, that would kind of be my specialty, because I wanted to do that. Obviously I did not, and that's a whole nother story. Did I tell y'all the FBI story? No. Okay, sidetrack. So my best friend going through the MBA program, his name was, we'll call him John. John was about a semester ahead of me, and we both had this idea. We both love food and we hate exercise. We're not meant for the FBI, but we just had this idea where it'd be so cool if we could work there. So John, a semester ahead of me, applies early. The first thing that you have to do in the FBI application process is an ethics exam. So John goes in to a specialized area, security area, takes this ethics exam. The next step item is a physical fitness test. But he's taking the ethics exam, and y'all, he fails. He fails, and he's the most ethical person you would ever, you're like, what? But he didn't, and I don't have the answer. He didn't know how to answer for the test. So here's an example. You're walking to your car and you see a $10 bill lying in the parking lot. what do you do? Do you pocket it? Or do you spend the next 10 minutes trying to find the owner? Just panic and do nothing? Yeah. I'm not sure the FBI wants that answer either. Do they want someone to be honest, like, I'm picking it up and putting it in my pocket? Or do they want the ethical person? Or is it like reverse psychology, where they want the ethical person working for the FBI, doing white collar crime, to go out and try to find the actual owner? He didn't tell me what he answered, and he didn't tell me what was the correct answer. So I don't have that final answer, like what kind of psychology games they're playing. He failed, which was just as well, because we would have failed the physical fitness, and I went a different route. But if that ever helps you in your future, go for it. But anyway, bless you again. White collar crime, huge area, audits. Every company is going to have audit procedures, whether that's someone internally, an internal auditor, remember the CIA, the certified internal auditor, or a business that comes in from external, an external organization to come in and audit that business. So audit is a huge component. If that's something that you enjoy, you've got a good career field ahead of you. Even if we were talking about banking the other day, audit is a huge component of the banking industry as well. So many jobs. Tax, that's the typical connotation, I would say. Preparing returns, planning, advising on tax strategy, how to, what are we going to talk about later on when we talk about accounting? There's a difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion. What's the difference? Tax avoidance, legal. Tax evasion, illegal. Yes. So you're going to talk tax strategy for individuals and for businesses. They also, a huge component to a lot of CPA firms, and you don't realize this, or I didn't realize this, I should say, is the advising and consulting branch of it. All right, that's a huge part of a lot of CPA firms. They provide risk management, IT controls, mergers and acquisitions, support, valuations, so much there. So there is so much you can do. And this is just within public accounting, okay? There's so much that you can do with your accounting degree. It's endless opportunities, all right? Endless opportunities. Also, you have corporate or private accounting, which is meaning you're working in the industry side, the industry sector. Here you do financial accounting, reporting, managerial costs accounting, internal audits, controls, treasury, finance. We'll keep going. You can also work for the nonprofit sector. And with that, we lump in government. So government and nonprofit. That's another specialty area. You can take classes on nonprofit accounting. They have additional rules and regulations that they study and specialize in. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can do that. Again, you can build your career path however you want in accounting. It's going to be such a valuable degree. Accounting is such a valuable degree. And then specialized area, again, forensic accounting, which is that fraud detection, litigation, support, expert witness work. There's the whole, maybe you really like technology. Accounting is so tied into technology. We looked at just a moment ago, where was it? Advisory consulting, IT controls, and that ties right back into this information systems, IT audit, making sure cybersecurity is where it needs to be, system controls, data integrity. That's a whole nother field. ESG, which means environmental sustainability and governance accounting, reporting and green initiatives. If that's a passion, you can specialize in that area. International accounting, obviously it's self-explanatory. So there's so many things that you can do. And these are just some other niche areas. And then there's always the academic side where you see your professors. What they do is they like to teach at colleges and universities. They love accounting and they love helping others, and their passion is through teaching. Along with that, with teaching at that level, we do a lot of research too that you don't usually see, but it's one of our requirements on the back end of being that professor. So you can kind of build your own path with accounting. It's really an incredible field if you're inclined to it, if you find it enjoyable, if you find those type of careers enjoyable. And again, it's not just all Trinity working from home. by herself, not having to deal with people, which I don't really see, Trinity, but if you say so. All right, a couple other things. A simplified way to approach your options in accounting. Do you want to serve many clients? Then you might look at public accounting. Do you want to work with one specific organization? If that's the case, you might look at more corporate or private accounting. Do you want to serve the public or help public good, governmental, nonprofit? Do you want a specialty? And that was some of those that we looked at right there. So that's all for today, but let's talk about Monday. Monday, what are we doing? Gotcha, wrong. Well, yes, we are going to have a guest speaker, but it's a little bit of an anomaly. On Monday, CBI Advising is coming. All right. They are going to come. It's already time, freshmen. It's already time to get ready, thinking about spring and getting ready to build that schedule. Can y'all believe it? It's going by so fast. So they're going to come and talk to you about a couple of important things. All right. Then Wednesday, we will pick up with the accounting guest speaker. Couple things, and I'm preaching to the choir with you guys. I know I am, but I'm going to say it anyway. So when you have a peer that's not doing what they should, you hit them and let them know they could get fired. Miss Ward had to get on, and I'm preaching to the choir with you guys. I know that. Miss Ward had to get on to a couple students back here. They're not here today. I know who they are, and they're not here today. When we have a guest speaker, you guys are budding business professionals. What does that mean?
You have listening skills.
Listening skills is huge. Respect. People are always watching you. And that's something I'm about to talk about in other class today. People are always watching you. When you're on your phone, Snapchatting other people, watching Netflix, you know, it's disrespectful. If you can't pay attention for 30 minutes, an hour maybe, for a guest speaker, you're cutting your future short. I'm telling you now, that type of personality, that lack of respect is not going to get you anywhere. So please, I was down here and I couldn't get anybody, but don't let me catch you on Wednesday or Monday being disrespectful. And again, I'm preaching to the choir. I apologize for that, but maybe they'll hear it one day as if they're going to go back on Teams and listen. But hit your peers. Let's show respect. Let's be professionals and display that etiquette, okay? Other than that, make sure you get your finance quiz, your economics guest speaker quiz, and I will see you on Monday. If you have any problems, questions, I'm here to help you. I'm here.